A 74-year-old in Florida used to greet sunrise with a brisk walk until heavy, aching legs and brutal night cramps began stealing her sleep. Most people shrug and blame just aging. But what if the real fix has been sitting in the fruit bowl all along? Today, we'll uncover everyday fruits that can help restore leg strength, support circulation, and calm those painful cramps simply and naturally. I'm Dr. Nana. Mrs. Johnson is 74 and lives in Florida. She loved her morning walks, the kind that clear your head and set the tone for the day. Lately, though, her legs felt weak and heavy, and the nighttime cramps were so sharp they jolted her awake. She figured this was just what getting older felt like, something you learn to live with. But here's the truth, her nightly struggle wasn't simply age. It was something far more preventable hidden right inside her fruit basket. Weak legs, night cramps, that dragging heaviness in the calves, these are not normal must-haves of getting older. Research shows over 60% of adults 65 plus experience muscle cramps or leg weakness regularly, and many could ease it just by choosing the right fruits. That's exactly why this video matters. We're about to walk through everyday fruits that can bring strength back to your legs, improve circulation, and dial down those painful spasms. Quick question before we dive in. Have your legs ever given out when you needed them most? Type 1 in the comments if that's happened to you, or oh if it hasn't. I read and reply to every single comment here. Your stories truly shape these videos. And while you're here, hit subscribe so you never miss a simple, science-backed tip that keeps your body stronger and healthier day by day. Now, have you ever heard someone say jackfruit is only good for its sweet taste? The truth is, this tropical favorite hides an impressive secret that can make your legs feel lighter and stronger. Jackfruit is naturally rich in potassium, a mineral that balances electrolytes and helps keep muscles from contracting too tightly. Scientists at Harvard have noted that diets higher in potassium can cut the risk of muscle cramps and weakness in older adults by as much as 40%. That's why jackfruit is more than a snack, it's a natural muscle protector. Consider Robert, a 68-year-old retired bus driver from Texas. Whenever he walked a bit too far, his calves seized up. Nights were worse, sudden spasms dragged him out of bed. He assumed poor circulation was to blame, but his doctor noticed his potassium levels were on the low side. Rather than relying only on supplements, Robert began adding jackfruit to his week, fresh when in season, frozen or dried when it wasn't. Within weeks, the nighttime cramps eased, and his daily walks felt steadier, less of a fight. His wife even joked he was moving like a man 10 years younger. There's another bonus. Jackfruit is a source of vitamin B6, which supports the communication between nerves and muscles, so your legs are less likely to feel numb or weak. A study from the National Institutes of Health found that seniors with higher B6 intake reported stronger coordination and fewer tingling sensations in their feet. Add jackfruit's fiber, which supports healthy blood flow and steadier energy, and you've got a fruit working on multiple fronts for leg strength. How do you use it? If fresh jackfruit is hard to find, grab it frozen or canned in water, not syrup. Blend it into a smoothie, toss it into a fruit salad, or bake it lightly as a warm side. The key is consistency. Adding it a few times a week can gradually help rebuild strength and stability in your legs. And here's a simple promise. If jackfruit brought Robert relief, imagine what steady, smart choices could do for you. Before we move on, get ready, the next fruit might surprise you even more. It's small, sweet, and packs a twist most people never think about. When you picture plums, you probably think juicy summer snack, right? But these little purple powerhouses can help keep your legs strong and cramp-free. Like jackfruit, plums are loaded with potassium, but what sets them apart is how quickly that potassium helps regulate muscle contractions. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic have found that adequate potassium intake can reduce nighttime cramping episodes in seniors by as much as 35%, especially when paired with proper hydration. We just explored how potassium-rich fruits, starting with jackfruit and then plums, can help calm cramps, lighten that heavy feeling in your calves, and keep your legs steadier with age. Now, let's stay with plums for a moment and see how this plays out in real life. Janet is a 71-year-old grandmother from Ohio. For years, her happiest hours were in the garden, hands in the soil, trimming roses, coaxing tomatoes up their stakes. But lately, she had to stop after barely half an hour. Her calves tightened like a knot pulled too hard, the kind of sudden seize up that makes you catch your breath and grip the edge of a planter box for balance. She told herself it might be arthritis. After all, isn't that what most people assume when legs ache after simple chores? Her primary care doctor ran routine blood work and offered a simpler explanation. Her potassium level was on the low side of normal. Nothing dramatic, nothing scary, just low enough to trigger those tight, stubborn muscle contractions. So Janet made one small, practical change. Every afternoon, instead of reaching for cookies or a handful of chips, she ate 2 plums. That was it. No complicated diet overhauls, no expensive supplements, just 2 juicy plums as her daily snack. Within a month, the difference surprised her. The cramps that forced her to quit early eased up. Some afternoons she'd look up and realize she had been trimming, watering, and weeding far longer than usual, still steady on her feet, still comfortable in her calves. Her doctor was pleased too, because potassium-rich fruits like plums don't only support muscles, they help the heart and circulation as well. Her blood pressure readings moved in the right direction, which meant that one change, eating plums, was quietly doing double duty. But plums offer more than potassium. They're rich in polyphenols, powerful antioxidants that help protect blood vessels from damage. Why does that matter for your legs? Healthy vessels carry blood more efficiently, which means better oxygen and nutrient delivery to working muscles. When your circulation hums along, your legs are less likely to feel heavy and tired after simple activities like carrying groceries or walking the dog. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition highlighted that seniors who regularly ate polyphenol-rich fruits saw improvements in circulation and even stronger bone density. It's an overlooked benefit. Steadier blood flow today, sturdier bones as the years stack up. Think about how that plays out in daily life. When your vessels are resilient and your blood flow is smooth, the cement legs feeling that so many older adults describe starts to loosen its grip. That long hallway doesn't feel as daunting. The stairs up to your bedroom become a quiet routine instead of a nightly challenge. You're not just getting through the day, you're moving through it with a sense of ease. So, how do you actually bring plums into your routine without overthinking it? Keep it simple. Fresh plums are wonderful when they're in season. Rinse, slice, and enjoy that sweet tart bite as an afternoon pick-me-up. You can add sliced plums to your breakfast cereal or oatmeal, where their gentle sweetness replaces the need for extra sugar. If you're a grab-and-go person, keep a few ripe plums in a bowl by the coffee maker. Seeing them is half the battle. These small, consistent choices add up. At first, you might not notice their effect in a single day, but then, almost out of nowhere, you realize you can walk farther, climb the stairs a little easier, and maybe most importantly, sleep without those painful cramps jolting you awake. If plums sound impressive, the next fruit brings a twist that's especially helpful when summer heat makes every step feel heavier. It doesn't merely fight cramps, it helps your legs feel lighter by tackling a problem many people overlook: dehydration. When the heat rolls in, lots of older adults notice their legs feeling heavier, weaker, or prone to cramping. You might think, I didn't even do that much today, why do my calves feel like sandbags? One underappreciated culprit is simple dehydration. That's where cantaloupe comes in. This orange flesh melon is nearly 90% water, a built-in way to refresh your body while gently nourishing your muscles. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, dehydration is a leading cause of muscle cramps in seniors, especially during hot weather or after even light activity. Consider George, a 73-year-old retired mechanic in Arizona. He loved short evening walks, nothing intense, just a few blocks to catch the breeze and watch the sky turn salmon and gold. But during the summer, his legs often felt like they weighed 100 pounds each. Sometimes the cramps hit so hard he had to sit on the curb and wait for the pain to pass before he could make it home. At his daughter's urging, George started adding hydrating fruits to his day. His favorite became a cold bowl of cantaloupe in the late afternoon, simple cubes chilled in the fridge, the kind of snack that feels like a cool cloth on a hot forehead. Within weeks, the changes were clear. Those crushing evening cramps faded. He felt a bit more energy after dinner, and he slept more peacefully because his legs weren't waking him with sharp spasms at 2 in the morning. Hydration is a huge part of that story, but it isn't the whole story. Cantaloupe is also a good source of potassium, which helps muscles contract and relax smoothly so they don't lock up at the first sign of strain. And it delivers vitamin A, a nutrient that helps protect muscle tissue from damage caused by oxidative stress. In fact, research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that diets rich in carotenoids, the pigments that make melons like cantaloupe a vibrant orange, were linked to reduced muscle weakness in older adults. Put simply, cantaloupe doesn't just quench your thirst, it actively supports the strength and steadiness of your legs. How can you make cantaloupe part of your routine without turning it into a project? Keep it practical. Slice the melon into bite-sized cubes and store them in a clear container up front in the refrigerator, so it's the first thing you see when you open the door. Blend a handful into a smoothie with a little yogurt for a light, energizing breakfast. Or enjoy a few cool slices after a walk to replace fluids and electrolytes right when your body needs them most. Many people like pairing cantaloupe with fresh berries or a few mint leaves for a refreshing summer salad. The natural sweetness makes it an easy swap for sugary desserts, satisfying that after-dinner craving in a way that's kind to your legs and your overall health. Think of cantaloupe as a gentle support system for your lower body, a small, daily habit that cushions your muscles from the stress of heat and activity. On days when simply stepping outside feels like stepping into an oven, reaching for those orange cubes can be the difference between a sluggish evening and a comfortable one. And if the idea of fruit as relief still sounds too good to be true, consider the next item on our list. It isn't even a solid fruit at all. It's a natural drink that many athletes and plenty of older adults swear by when they need fast recovery and steadier muscles. You've probably seen it after a road race or a long run, athletes grabbing brightly colored sports drinks. But there's a simpler option that doesn't come from a laboratory. Coconut water is often called nature's electrolyte drink. It's naturally packed with potassium, magnesium, and sodium, the very minerals your body uses to restore balance after sweating or losing fluids. When you're depleted, those electrolytes help your muscles fire smoothly instead of clenching into painful knots. Why does that matter for your legs? Imagine your muscles as a team that needs clear signals to move, step, and stabilize. Without enough electrolytes, those signals get fuzzy. Cramps, twitches, and that heavy, dragging sensation can follow. Coconut water offers a straightforward way to replenish what heat and activity take away, especially on days when plain water alone doesn't seem to cut it. Of course, balance is always key. Coconut water isn't a magic potion, it's simply a natural way to put back what you've lost. Some people like a small glass in the afternoon when the day is hottest, others prefer it after a walk or light workout. What matters most is consistency and listening to your body, noticing when you feel parched, when your legs start to whisper that they're running low on reserves, and choosing a replenishing option before those whispers turn into a shout. As we turn the page, we'll dive deeper into this natural electrolyte, how coconut water fits alongside hydrating fruits like cantaloupe, the best times to drink it, and simple ways to use it so your legs feel supported rather than strained. Ready to keep your momentum going? On the next page, we'll unpack coconut water step by step and show you how to make it work for your daily routine without overcomplicating a thing. Quick recap to keep us rolling. We just saw how hydrating fruits like cantaloupe can lighten that cement legs feeling, and we introduced a simple, natural electrolyte option, coconut water, to help your muscles stay calm and coordinated when heat or activity drains you. According to a clinical study in the Journal of Physiological Anthropology, coconut water rehydrated participants just as effectively as a popular sports drink without the added sugars or artificial ingredients. That finding is practical for everyday life. It means you can reach for something simple and natural and still get the rehydration support your muscles need. The secret is its mineral profile, especially potassium, which in many cases is even higher than a banana. Potassium matters because it works hand in hand with magnesium to regulate muscle contractions, while sodium helps replace what you lose through sweat. Think of it as a trio. Potassium and magnesium help your muscles fire and relax in rhythm. Sodium restores the electrolyte balance that keeps that rhythm steady instead of jerky or spasm-prone. A review in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition emphasized a point many people overlook. Electrolyte imbalance is one of the leading yet preventable triggers of muscle weakness and cramps in older adults. That's not a niche problem. If your legs feel heavy after a warm afternoon, or your calves wake you up with a sharp seize, lack of fluid and electrolytes may be the quiet culprit. Coconut water helps close that gap naturally. So how do you use coconut water in real life? You don't need to chug a bottle or drink it by the liter. A single cup after a walk, a gardening session, or light exercise can help you rehydrate and replenish the minerals you quietly burn through. Many people enjoy mixing coconut water with a splash of fresh fruit juice for flavor. Others freeze it into ice cubes and drop them into smoothies so the electrolyte boost melts in as you sip. On hot days when dehydration and salt loss make your legs feel leaden, coconut water can be a refreshing reset. It's more than a thirst quencher. It's a gentle helper that gives your muscles key minerals so they stay steady, responsive, and less prone to night cramps. Let me ask you, Have you ever tried coconut water after exercise and actually felt the difference in your legs? Fewer twitches, less heaviness, a smoother stride? If yes, type 1 in the comments. If not yet, type O. And if simple, science-backed tips like this help you take easier steps every day, hit subscribe so you never miss the next one. While coconut water can do wonders, the next fruit on our list brings something equally impressive. With its creamy texture and healthy fats, it doesn't just help prevent cramps, it supports blood flow so your legs feel better supplied and more resilient. When you hear avocado, you might picture a bowl of guacamole at a summer picnic, but this creamy green fruit offers far more than flavor. It's a quiet powerhouse for muscle health and circulation. Avocados are rich in both potassium and magnesium, the perfect duo for preventing nighttime cramps and keeping muscles contracting smoothly. Potassium helps keep electrical signals in your muscles stable. Magnesium helps those fibers relax and release instead of staying clenched. Research from the National Institutes of Health links higher magnesium intake with fewer leg cramps among older adults, especially during sleep. If you've ever been jarred awake by a calf that suddenly knots up, you know how powerful that detail is. Restful nights depend on calm, well-supplied muscles. Consider Linda, a 69-year-old from New Mexico. She loved line dancing at her community center, music up, friends laughing, steps clicking in easy sequences down the hardwood floor. But halfway through sessions, her calves tightened painfully. Her primary care doctor explained that low magnesium and less than ideal circulation were part of the problem. Instead of relying only on supplements, Linda added half an avocado to breakfast 3 times a week. It was a small change: mash, spread, eat. Within a month, she noticed her legs didn't lock up during dance practice. She even joined a longer session, stayed comfortable, and left grinning because she could actually finish the set with her friends. That combination of minerals and healthy fats is also helpful for long-term muscle preservation. Sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, affects nearly 1 in 3 people over 60. Avocados contribute supportive nutrients that help slow that process: potassium to keep muscle signaling stable, magnesium to aid relaxation and recovery, and heart-healthy fats that dovetail with good circulation. The result isn't a bodybuilder effect. It's steadier strength that helps you stay active and independent, whether that means lifting a bag of groceries, climbing a few steps, or taking an evening stroll without worrying that your legs will quit on you. How do you add avocado without turning it into a production? Keep it simple and consistent. Spread mashed avocado on whole grain toast for a filling breakfast. That one small routine stitches together multiple benefits at once. You're taking in potassium and magnesium for better muscle function, plus healthy fats that pair well with foods you already enjoy in the morning. The texture is creamy, the taste is mild, and the payoff is practical: calmer calves, steadier steps, and fewer interruptions to the activities that brighten your day. Let's pull the thread through so the whole picture is clear. Coconut water helps restore what heat and activity deplete fluids and electrolytes so your muscles can coordinate instead of clench. Avocados supply potassium and magnesium from food, the exact minerals your legs crave for smooth, confident movement. Together, they nudge your body toward balance, hydrated, replenished, and quietly supported by nutrients that keep the signal and relax cycle working the way it should. And this isn't about perfection. It's about rhythm and habit. A cup of coconut water after you've been on your feet, a half avocado at breakfast a few days a week. That's a routine you can actually live with. Over time, routines like these are what help you notice the differences that matter: that staircase you used to dread, the backyard you can tend longer, the nights that no longer end with you standing by the bed kneading out a cramped calf. None of this requires exotic ingredients or complicated plans. You're using familiar foods in smart ways, and your legs respond by feeling steadier and more alive. Before we turn the page, a quick check-in. Which one do you think will be easier for you to try first: coconut water after activity, or half an avocado on toast a few mornings this week? Jot it down in the comments. That simple commitment makes it more likely you'll follow through, and those first small steps are where momentum begins. On the next page, we'll build on this progress by keeping the focus practical: how to make avocado a no-brainer part of your week without getting bored, and how to pair these choices with the next leg-strengthening fruit on our list so your muscles feel supported morning to night. Ready to keep the rhythm going? Let's turn the page and make your routine even easier to stick with. We just made avocado an easy, repeatable habit. Now let's turn to the classic, widely loved fruit that most people already associate with cramp relief. Start with simple, stick with it. Ways to use avocado. Slice it into a lunch salad for satisfying creaminess without dairy. Blend it into a smoothie when you want a velvety texture that plays well with greens or berries. Or keep it as pure and unfussy as possible, just a sprinkle of salt and pepper and a spoon. The real difference maker isn't a fancy recipe, it's regularity. Eating avocado a few times a week can show up where you feel it most. Steadier leg strength, fewer twinges, and a calmer, more responsive stride as the day wears on. And since we're talking about beloved staples, the next fruit is a familiar favorite already sitting in many kitchens. It's often nicknamed the anti-cramp fruit, and for good reason. If there's one fruit people connect with muscle health, it's the banana. Bananas are among the easiest and most effective ways to keep your legs strong and free of painful spasms. Their generous potassium content helps muscles contract and relax in proper rhythm, which matters when you want to avoid those sudden nighttime lockups or that mid-activity seize that can make you sit down fast. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, a single medium banana provides roughly 10% of your daily potassium needs, practical, portable, and ready in seconds. Think of it as a small, consistent deposit into your leg health bank account. It's not dramatic, it's dependable. And that dependability is exactly what many older adults need to keep moving comfortably. Consider Frank, a 72-year-old retired firefighter from Michigan. Fishing at the lake was his happy place. Quiet water, a light breeze, the slow patience of waiting for a bite. But he often had to cut trips short because standing on the dock left his calves cramping hard. His doctor suggested a simple tweak: eat a banana before heading out. Frank tried it, not expecting much. To his surprise, the cramps showed up less and less. Within weeks, he could stay on his feet longer, enjoy his hobby again, and even joke that bananas handed him a second career as a fisherman. Bananas also bring more than potassium to the table. They contain vitamin B6, which supports the communication between nerves and muscles, useful if tingling or occasional numbness tries to creep into your lower legs. Add to that their easily digestible carbohydrates, which provide quick, gentle energy for working muscles. It's one reason athletes often reach for a banana before or after exercise. You get fuel that sits well and helps you keep moving. Seniors can benefit the same way, especially if a sense of fatigue or leg heaviness has become a daily speed bump. There's another quiet advantage: bananas are naturally low in sodium, making them a heart-friendly choice for people watching their blood pressure while still delivering the minerals muscles crave. It's a neat package: potassium, a bit of quick energy, and a nutrient profile that respects cardiovascular health. And versatility may be the banana's superpower. Slice one into your morning cereal or oatmeal to soften the need for added sugar. Drop chunks into a blender when you're making a smoothie. Bananas lend body and mellow sweetness without fuss. Or peel and eat as an afternoon snack when the day starts to drag. If you've got a sweet tooth, here's a smart swap. Freeze banana slices and then blend them for a creamy, ice cream-like treat. No sugar overload, just a cool, dessert-feeling scoop that satisfies and still supports your goals. Make this a routine and the benefits stack up. Consistently including bananas in your week helps restore electrolyte balance quietly, steadily, and supports long-term leg strength. You might notice the difference first at night: fewer jolting cramps that yank you from sleep. Then in the day, stairs feel less like a test, and standing in the kitchen or at a workbench doesn't tire your calves as quickly. Often, the shift sneaks up on you. One afternoon you realize you're still comfortable on your feet, and it dawns on you that small choices have been working in the background all along. So, the next time your legs tighten or start to tire faster than they used to, remember how deceptively simple the fix can be. A banana is humble, ordinary, and when used regularly, surprisingly effective. Still, as helpful as bananas are, the bigger picture matters even more. Staying strong and active with age isn't about staking everything on one miracle fruit, it's about the steady habits you build. Those everyday choices at the table shape the strength you carry into tomorrow. Keep that perspective front and center. While most conversations about nutrition focus on vitamins and minerals, calcium, vitamin D, magnesium, there's an equally powerful category that doesn't fit neatly into the vitamin or mineral box. These non-vitamin, non-mineral compounds directly support leg strength, structure, and function in ways you can feel: more stability, better resilience, and a body that responds rather than resists when you ask it to move. Before we step into that next chapter, I'd love to know where you're joining from today. Are you tuning in from a coastal town, a mountain community, a desert city? Drop a comment with your location and any questions on your mind. Your stories and experiences help guide what we cover next, and I read them carefully. And if you're finding these simple, science-backed tips helpful, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss what's coming. Now that we've set the stage, let's begin with the most foundational building block for maintaining strong legs as the years add up. First, let's talk about protein, what it is, why your muscles depend on it, and how to get enough in ways that fit your routine without feeling like a chore. Stay with me. On the next page, we'll break protein down into everyday, doable steps and show you how to pair it with the fruit strategies you've already started, so your legs feel supported from breakfast to bedtime. We just opened the door to the most foundational building block for steady legs, protein, so now let's lay it out clearly and make it practical. As the years add up, the question isn't, is decline inevitable? But how do we steer it? More specifically, can one nutrient help preserve the strength and vitality of our legs? The short answer is yes. That nutrient is protein. It isn't reserved for bodybuilders or marathoners. For older adults, it's a pillar of healthy aging, especially for balance, mobility, and day-to-day leg function. Your muscles are made of protein, and with age the body gets less efficient at using dietary protein to repair and rebuild tissue. There's a name for this: anabolic resistance. It means what once came easily, triggering muscle repair after a modest meal, now takes a clearer, stronger signal. High-quality protein supplies the raw materials your legs rely on to stay steady under you. It maintains lean mass, protects against shakiness on stairs, and supports the power you need to rise from a chair without bracing your hands. Zoom in a little closer and you'll find one amino acid doing outsized work: leucine. Think of leucine as a biological on switch. It's abundant in foods like dairy, eggs, and lean meats, and it activates a key growth pathway in the body called M2, the signal that says, build and repair now. Without that signal, even a protein-rich meal can miss the mark for aging muscles. You've eaten well, but you haven't quite flipped the switch your legs need to get the most from it. What if you don't get enough? The slide can be subtle, then suddenly not subtle at all. Legs tire sooner. Night cramps show up more often. Balance feels less certain. Recovery from a minor stumble or sprain drags on. Independence, the ability to shop, cook, garden, and move on your own terms, gets chipped away. You might be eating adequate calories, but if protein is too low, the body quietly raids muscle to make up the difference. Strength is replaced by fatigue, and simple days start to feel complicated. Here's the good news: you can counter anabolic resistance with smart, consistent choices. Current research suggests that older adults do better, aiming higher than the old baseline, roughly 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. Just as important is how you spread that intake across the day. Instead of putting most of your protein on the dinner plate, distribute it breakfast, lunch, and dinner so your muscles get multiple build and repair prompts. Many people skimp earlier in the day. Flipping that script can change how your legs feel by afternoon. Sources matter too. High leucine foods: whey, eggs, fish, chicken, Greek yogurt deliver a more reliable on signal. Plant-based options can absolutely contribute when thoughtfully combined. Tofu, lentils, and quinoa build a solid foundation when you eat enough total protein. If appetite is low or chewing is uncomfortable, protein shakes and powders can offer a concentrated, easy-to-tolerate alternative. The aim is not perfection, it's enough quality protein, spaced over the day, to keep your legs supplied with what they need to stay sturdy. Now, nutrient number 2 fits a different category but plays just as crucial a role: omega-3. When most people hear fat, they think of something to avoid. But one particular family of fats does the opposite of what you fear. It soothes aching joints, supports healthy blood flow to your legs, and helps protect the nerves that make every step possible. That's the power of omega-3 fatty acids. Why does this matter so much for older adults? Leg pain, stiffness, and swelling are widespread and often tied to low-grade, chronic inflammation. Arthritis in the knees, aching calves, sore ankles after a short walk. Inflammation is frequently the invisible saboteur behind the discomfort that erodes mobility. Omega-3s don't act like a quick numbing patch. They work from within, gradually down-regulating the body's inflammatory response at the cellular level. Two omega-3s in particular carry the load: EPA eicosapentaenic acid and DHA docosahexaenic acid, the bioactive forms found in fish oil. They influence the production of signaling molecules eicosanoids and resolvins that help the body resolve inflammation rather than stoke it. The practical effect? Joints that move more freely, calves that feel less angry after you've been on your feet, and a general easing of that heavy, stiff sensation that makes you sit when you'd rather keep going. There's another part of the story many people miss. Circulation changes with age. The tiniest vessels, the capillaries that deliver oxygen and nutrients to your lower legs and feet, can become less efficient over time. That contributes to cold feet, nighttime cramps, slow wound healing, and heavier legs after modest activity. Omega-3s support the inner lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium. Healthier endothelium encourages vasodilation, vessels that relax, open, and allow blood to move smoothly. Better flow means more oxygen and nutrients reach your muscles, nerves, and skin. It doesn't just feel good, it lays the groundwork for stronger legs, quicker recovery, and fewer complications. Nerve health matters too, especially if you've felt tingling, burning, or patches of numbness in your lower legs. Those are common symptoms of peripheral neuropathy. While omega-3s aren't a cure, there's evidence they can help protect nerves by lowering oxidative stress and supporting nerve cell regeneration. In plain terms, they help create a friendlier environment for nerves to function, which can translate to steadier, more reliable steps. Let's stitch this together, so it's usable day to day. Protein supplies the building blocks and flips the repair switch your legs need, especially when you spread it across meals and include high leucine sources. Omega-3s calm the background static of inflammation while keeping blood flowing to the tissues that do the work. One supports structure, the other improves the environment. Together, they shift how your legs feel when you stand, walk, climb, and balance. What might this look like in practice? Breakfast that earns its keep. Greek yogurt rich in protein and leucine, topped with a spoon of nut-free granola and a few slices of fruit. Lunch with staying power. Lentil quinoa bowl with grilled chicken or tofu. Dinner that doesn't overdo it, but still delivers. A piece of fish alongside vegetables, and a whole grain side. If you struggle to reach your target, a simple protein shake can fill gaps, especially on days when appetite is off. None of this needs to feel extreme or fussy. It's the rhythm that matters. Enough, consistently, spaced out. You might be wondering, how will I know it's working? The signals are often quiet at first. Fewer nighttime cramps. A staircase that feels less like a test. Less wobble when you step off a curb. The difference between cutting a walk short and finishing the loop. Those micro wins stack into something bigger. Confidence in your legs again. A fair question comes up next. If omega-3s are this helpful, how do I actually fit them into my week? We'll keep it simple in the next section: what to reach for, when it tends to help most, and easy, realistic ways to combine omega-3s with the protein pattern you've started. We'll also keep the focus on the choices you can repeat, because repetition is what unlocks results. Before we turn the page, a quick self-check you can use today. Did your first 2 meals include a meaningful source of protein? If not, what's one swap you can make tomorrow morning to start stronger? Greek yogurt instead of toast alone, eggs alongside oatmeal, or a tofu scramble if you prefer plants. And did you give your circulation a little support, perhaps by choosing fish once or twice this week, or making room for a practical omega-3 source? Jot one intention in the comments. That tiny commitment helps you follow through. On the next page, we'll get tactical. Simple meal patterns to hit your daily protein range without overthinking. Straightforward omega-3 options you can plug into your week, and how to pair both so your legs feel supported from breakfast through bedtime without turning your routine upside down. We just paired protein, the repair signal your muscles need, with omega-3s, which calm inflammation and support blood flow. Now let's make those ideas usable. Where to get the right omega-3s, how much typically helps, and why collagen and creatine round out a powerful, age-smart foundation for steady, capable legs. Let's finish the omega-3 picture first. One of the quiet wins older adults notice with steady omega-3 intake is better sensation and less static in the lower limbs. That matters even more if you're managing diabetes or vascular issues, where dulled feeling in the feet can let minor problems go unnoticed until they become bigger ones. Practical question: where do you actually find the forms that do the most good? Aim for cold water, fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, anchovies. These carry EPA and DHA, the bioactive omega-3s linked to anti-inflammatory and cardiovascular benefits. If fish seldom shows up on your plate, you're not out of options. Purified fish oil capsules are widely available, and algal oil made from marine algae is a solid vegan alternative that delivers DA and in many formulas EPA as well. How much is typical? While needs vary by individual, many studies support a daily total of roughly 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of combined EPA plus DHA for anti-inflammatory and heart health support. You don't have to hit that number at one sitting. Think consistency, a capsule with breakfast, a salmon dinner once or twice a week, or a measured dose of algal oil with your midday meal. The goal is a steady stream, not a single surge. Over time, that steadiness is what helps joints feel less angry, calves feel less heavy after activity, and feet feel more alive under you. Now, zoom out from oils in circulation to the scaffolding that holds every step together, collagen. Beneath a confident stride sits an unsung framework: collagen woven through tendons, cushioning joints, and giving ligaments their spring. It's the quiet architecture that keeps knees gliding, ankles steady, and the plantar fascia, the band along the bottom of your foot, doing its job without complaint. With age, that architecture thins. The shift is gradual. At first, knees feel creaky, ankles protest sooner, bounce becomes bracing. The question that naturally follows: can we restore what time has pared back? The most encouraging answer comes from collagen peptides. Collagen itself is the most abundant protein in the human body, forming the connective tissue matrix. But production slows after about 30, and by the 60s and 70 seconds, the shortfall is hard to miss: more joint noise, more stiffness, less give. Collagen peptides are different from ordinary dietary collagen. They're hydrolyzed, broken into shorter chains the body absorbs more readily. Once absorbed, they don't just vanish. They circulate to joint and connective tissues, acting like messengers that nudge your own cells to build more collagen where it's needed. What do people actually experience when they take them daily? Clinical studies have reported reduced joint pain, better flexibility, and improvements in bone mineral density over time. Translate that into daily life, and you get steadier knees on the stairs, ankles that feel less precarious on uneven ground, and a lower risk of soft tissue tweaks that sideline you for weeks. It isn't a bulking story, it's a resilience story: joints and connective tissues that behave more like themselves again. There's a simple, essential co-star here: vitamin C. Your body can't synthesize or rebuild collagen efficiently without it. That's why many higher quality collagen products include vitamin C or suggest pairing your serving with something naturally rich in it: citrus, berries, bell peppers. Timing and consistency matter as well. The majority of clinical benefits are reported with daily use over 8 to 12 weeks, so think in seasons, not days. One more practical detail: source. Collagen peptides most commonly come from bovine cow, marine fish, or porcine pig collagen. All provide the key amino acids glycine, proline, hydroxyproline that connective tissue relies on. Marine collagen is often praised for easy absorption. Bovine collagen is among the most studied for joint and bone support. Neither is wrong. Choose the one you'll actually take consistently. Just as collagen supports the structure that lets you move smoothly, creatine supports the quick energy that makes movement feel responsive instead of sluggish. If you've mostly heard creatine discussed in the context of gyms and athletes, here's the part that matters for healthy aging. Creatine is a naturally occurring compound stored in muscle. When you stand up, climb a step, or lift something, especially when the action is quick or forceful, your muscle fibers draw on creatine to rapidly regenerate ATP, the fuel that powers contraction. Think of it as a backup generator that kicks on when you need a burst. With age, the body tends to store less creatine. The result? Those brief, everyday bursts feel harder. Rising from a chair asks more of you. The first few steps after sitting are slower to come together. A short staircase steals more breath than it used to. None of that means you're doing anything wrong. It means the fast energy reserve isn't as full as it once was. Creatine's value for older adults is about refilling that reserve so quick, practical efforts feel doable again. You're not chasing a sprint time, you're making ordinary strength accessible, pushing a door open with confidence, stepping off a curb with control, catching your balance when the ground surprises you. At the cellular level, creatine buffers the ATP demand during those first seconds of effort, so the transition from rest to move feels cleaner. That's the difference between hesitating at the start of a step and taking it smoothly. If you're wondering how these pieces fit together, here's the simple map. Omega-3s improve the environment your legs work in, calming inflammation and keeping blood moving through the network that feeds muscle, nerves, and skin. Collagen peptides reinforce the physical scaffolding tendons, ligaments, and joint surfaces so movement is supported, gliding, and less prone to strain. Creatine tops off the quick energy tank, helping your muscles supply a clean burst when everyday life asks for it. Each one answers a different need. Together, they address sensation and circulation omega-3s, structure and glide collagen, and snap-to-it power creatine. None is a magic wand. All are tools that stack benefits when used consistently. Let's keep it practical, starting with omega-3 choices you'll actually use. If fish appeals to you, pencil in salmon, sardines, or mackerel once or twice this week. If it doesn't, set a reminder for your capsule at the same time. Daily habit beats willpower. Reading a label? Look for the combined EPA plus DHA number, and aim for a daily total in the 1000–2000 mg range unless your clinician has advised otherwise. Prefer plant-based? Algal oil earns its place by delivering DHA and often EPA without fish. For collagen, pick a form you won't dread. An unflavored powder that disappears into coffee or tea, or a lightly flavored option you'll stir into water. Pair it with vitamin C either built into the product or from a small side of citrus or bell pepper. Mark your calendar 8 to 12 weeks out. That's when people tend to notice steadier joints, easier stairs, or a quieter ache at day's end. The key is one daily serving, not sporadic sips. Creatine deserves a clear, simple introduction. It lives in the fast energy lane. While we'll go deeper next, the core idea is straightforward: restoring your muscles' quick response buffer so the first moments of movement are less of a grind. You'll feel it in tiny ways that add up: getting up without a rocking start, taking the second step as easily as the first, carrying a bag without that sudden dip in power halfway across the room. You might be asking, do I need all three? Not necessarily. Start where your biggest bottleneck lives. If your legs feel inflamed, puffy, or heavy, omega-3s may be your first lever. If joints feel fragile or tendons grumble after even modest activity, collagen peptides are a logical first step. If get-going power is the issue, standing, stepping, or lifting feels like it stalls before it starts, creatine is the tool designed for that job. The real win comes from matching the tool to the need, then giving it enough time and consistency to work. 2 final notes to keep your expectations grounded and your progress steady. First, none of these nutrients replaces medical care. If you're managing diabetes, vascular disease, or a diagnosed neuropathy, keep your clinician in the loop, especially as you add supplements. Second, track what matters to you. Circle a date 8 weeks from now and jot down a few simple benchmarks: stairs climbed without pausing, minutes on your feet before you feel that first twinge, nights without a calf cramp. Seeing those numbers move is motivating, and it helps you spot which habit is doing the heavy lifting. As we turn the page, we'll focus on creatine in the most practical way possible: forms, typical amounts, and smart timing, plus how to weave it into the protein pattern you've already built so your legs feel supported from the first step of the morning to the last step of the day. Ready to give your backup generator a fair chance to hum again? Let's carry this momentum forward on the next page. We just framed creatine as your leg's backup generator for quick, everyday power. Now let's see what it actually delivers, and how glucosamine and curcumin reinforce joints and calm inflammation for steadier steps. Age chips away at fast, reliable strength in subtle ways: legs that tire sooner, a slower walking speed, and a quiet erosion of balance and confidence. Here's the remarkable part: creatine is one of the most studied and most effective supplements for countering age-related muscle decline. When paired with even modest resistance training, creatine has been shown to increase lower body strength, muscle mass, and day-to-day function in older adults. In meta-analyses, seniors who took creatine while exercising regularly significantly improved walking speed, chair rise time, and leg power compared with those who didn't. Even among people who are sedentary or frail, creatine appears to help preserve muscle, giving the legs a baseline of strength without intense workouts. Creatine's reach goes beyond muscle. Emerging research suggests it may also support bone density, likely because stronger muscles place healthier, more regular forces on bones. That's especially relevant for the legs, which bear body weight and are vulnerable to fractures from falls. Stronger muscles mean stronger bones. Creatine helps power both. Another practical win: unlike nutrients that take months before you feel a change, creatine's effects often become noticeable within weeks. People commonly report more energy on walks, better stability when rising from a chair, and a renewed sense of capability in their legs. It's the difference between hesitating on the first step and taking it smoothly. If you're wondering how these pieces fit together, here's the simple map. Omega-3s improve the environment your legs work in calming inflammation and keeping blood moving through the network that feeds muscle, nerves, and skin. Collagen peptides reinforce the physical scaffolding tendons, ligaments, and joint surfaces so movement is supported, gliding, and less prone to strain. Creatine tops off the quick energy tank, helping your muscles supply a clean burst when everyday life asks for it. Each one answers a different need. Together, they address sensation and circulation omega-3s, structure and glide collagen, and snap-to-it power creatine. None is a magic wand. All are tools that stack benefits when used consistently. Let's keep it practical, starting with omega-3 choices you'll actually use. If fish appeals to you, pencil in salmon, sardines, or mackerel once or twice this week. If it doesn't, set a reminder for your capsule at the same time. Daily habit beats willpower. Reading a label? Look for the combined EPA plus DHA number, and aim for a daily total in the 1000–2000 mg range unless your clinician has advised otherwise. Prefer plant-based? Algal oil earns its place by delivering DHA and often EPA without fish. For collagen, pick a form you won't dread, an unflavored powder that disappears into coffee or tea, or a lightly flavored option you'll stir into water. Pair it with vitamin C either built into the product or from a small side of citrus or bell pepper. Mark your calendar 8 to 12 weeks out. That's when people tend to notice steadier joints, easier stairs, or a quieter ache at day's end. The key is one daily serving, not sporadic sips. Creatine deserves a clear, simple introduction. It lives in the fast energy lane. While we'll go deeper next, the core idea is straightforward: restoring your muscles' quick response buffer so the first moments of movement are less of a grind. You'll feel it in tiny ways that add up: getting up without a rocking start, taking the second step as easily as the first, carrying a bag without that sudden dip in power halfway across the room. You might be asking, do I need all three? Not necessarily. Start where your biggest bottleneck lives. If your legs feel inflamed, puffy, or heavy, omega-3s may be your first lever. If joints feel fragile or tendons grumble after even modest activity, collagen peptides are a logical first step. If get-going power is the issue, standing, stepping, or lifting feels like it stalls before it starts, creatine is the tool designed for that job. The real win comes from matching the tool to the need, then giving it enough time and consistency to work. 2 final notes to keep your expectations grounded and your progress steady. First, none of these nutrients replaces medical care. If you're managing diabetes, vascular disease, or a diagnosed neuropathy, keep your clinician in the loop, especially as you add supplements. Second, track what matters to you. Circle a date 8 weeks from now and jot down a few simple benchmarks: stairs climbed without pausing, minutes on your feet before you feel that first twinge, nights without a calf cramp. Seeing those numbers move is motivating, and it helps you spot which habit is doing the heavy lifting. As we turn the page, we'll focus on creatine in the most practical way possible: forms, typical amounts, and smart timing, plus how to weave it into the protein pattern you've already built so your legs feel supported from the first step of the morning to the last step of the day. Ready to give your backup generator a fair chance to hum again? Let's carry this momentum forward on the next page. We just framed creatine as your leg's backup generator for quick, everyday power. Now let's see what it actually delivers, and how glucosamine and curcumin reinforce joints and calm inflammation for steadier steps. Age chips away at fast, reliable strength in subtle ways: legs that tire sooner, a slower walking speed, and a quiet erosion of balance and confidence. Here's the remarkable part: creatine is one of the most studied and most effective supplements for countering age-related muscle decline. When paired with even modest resistance training, creatine has been shown to increase lower body strength, muscle mass, and day-to-day function in older adults. In meta-analyses, seniors who took creatine while exercising regularly significantly improved walking speed, chair rise time, and leg power compared with those who didn't. Even among people who are sedentary or frail, creatine appears to help preserve muscle, giving the legs a baseline of strength without intense workouts. Creatine's reach goes beyond muscle. Emerging research suggests it may also support bone density, likely because stronger muscles place healthier, more regular forces on bones. That's especially relevant for the legs, which bear body weight and are vulnerable to fractures from falls. Stronger muscles mean stronger bones. creatine helps power both. Another practical win, unlike nutrients that take months before you feel a change, creatine's effects often become noticeable within weeks. People commonly report more energy on walks, better stability when rising from a chair, and a renewed sense of capability in their legs. It's the difference between hesitating on the first step and taking it smoothly. How do you take it? Stick with creatine monohydrate, the most researched and affordable form. A daily dose of 3-5 grams is typically effective and safe for older adults. There's no need to load or cycle. Consistency is what matters. Mix it into water or add it to a smoothie, and take it with a meal for easier absorption. As for side effects, creatine has been extensively studied, and at appropriate doses, it's considered very safe even in older populations. A little water retention can show up at first, but it usually fades quickly. Importantly, concerns about kidney health in otherwise healthy individuals have been largely disproven in clinical trials. Now, muscles don't work in isolation. They rely on joints, cartilage, and the smooth glide of connective tissues. That's where glucosamine comes in. It isn't flashy or trendy, but for decades it's been one of the most researched nutrients for joint health, especially in osteoarthritis, the progressive breakdown of cartilage that affects millions of aging adults. What makes glucosamine different is that it's not just a pain reliever, it's a building block. Glucosamine is a structural component of the molecules that form cartilage, joint, fluid, and connective tissue, the raw material for repair. As we age, the body's capacity to maintain and regenerate cartilage declines. The result? Thinning joint surfaces, inflammation, stiffness, and pain, especially in the weight-bearing joints of the legs. The knees take the brunt, but ankles and feet can be just as affected. Glucosamine supports natural cartilage production and helps maintain the thick, viscous synovial fluid that lubricates and nourishes joints from within. In several long-term studies, including those summarized in Cochrane reviews, glucosamine, particularly in the sulfate form, has been shown to reduce joint pain and slow cartilage loss, especially in the knee. Perhaps the most underappreciated benefit is stabilization. Glucosamine works gradually, reinforcing the internal scaffolding of joints over time. Users often report subtle but meaningful changes, less cracking, easier bending, smoother motion, and more confidence during daily tasks like climbing stairs or walking on uneven paths. It also pairs well with chondroitin, another cartilage-supporting compound. Together they've shown modest but consistent improvements in mobility and comfort. That said, glucosamine alone still holds value, especially when started early, before joint damage is advanced. It's a slow burn solution, not a magic bullet, and for aging legs, slow and steady wins the race. How should it be taken? A common regimen is 1,500 milligrams per day of glucosamine sulfate, often split into 2 or 3 doses with meals. Give it time. 4-8 weeks is typical before benefits become noticeable, which is why consistency is crucial. It's generally well tolerated, but people with shellfish allergies should be cautious because some products are derived from shellfish exoskeletons, though many plant-based or synthetic options are now available. With muscles-fueled creatine and joint scaffolding-supported glucosamine, there's one more lever that helps calm the background static of pain and swelling that can make every step feel heavier than it should: curcumin. Long used in traditions like Ayurveda and Chinese herbalism, curcumin has earned global attention for powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, and this isn't just folklore. Modern research has validated curcumin's effects across hundreds of studies, many focused on chronic joint and muscle conditions. In particular, curcumin shows promise for managing osteoarthritis, tendinitis, and inflammatory pain issues that commonly affect the legs and lower extremities as we age. How does it work? At the cellular level, curcumin interrupts the inflammatory cascade by inhibiting key enzymes such as COX-2 and 5 LOX, and by modulating signaling molecules like TNF-alpha and interleukins that drive swelling and pain. Think of it as turning down the volume on the pathways that keep joints irritated and muscles achy. Put the pieces together and the picture becomes practical. Creatine helps your muscles answer the call when you stand, climb, or catch your balance. Glucosamine helps joints glide with less protest. Curcumin helps quiet the inflammation that keeps everything feeling stiff and sore. Each addresses a different part of how your legs work. Together, they support the strength, structure, and comfort that make movement feel natural again. Want a simple mental checklist? Ask yourself, do my legs stall on the first step or when I rise from a chair? Creatine can help restore that quick, clean burst of power. Do my knees or ankles feel creaky, with stiffness that limits how far I go? Glucosamine supports the tissues that cushion and guide those joints. Do my legs feel puffy, sore, or inflamed after modest activity? Curcumin helps turn down the inflammatory signals that amplify discomfort. Small, consistent habits beat heroic bursts. A teaspoon-sized scoop of creatine daily, a steady glucosamine routine, and curcumin incorporated as directed by your clinician can add up to a different experience of the same day. Steadier climbs, smoother strides, and evenings with fewer reminders that your legs have been working. Before we turn the page, a quick self-check to keep you focused. Which of these three seems most aligned with your biggest bottleneck right now? Quick power, joint glide, or inflammation? Drop a note so you can track what you start and when. On the next page, we'll keep this momentum going with practical guidance on curcumin, how to fit it into your routine and pair it smartly with the muscle and joint support strategies you've already begun so your legs feel supported from morning to night. We just introduced curcumin as a powerful, research-backed way to quiet inflammation. Now let's see how it stacks up against common pain meds, how to use it effectively, and then shift into the first of 5 daily habits that keep your legs strong. Unlike conventional NSAIDs, which often carry gastrointestinal side effects and longer-term risks, curcumin tends to be gentler on the body, especially in optimized forms. Clinical trials have even shown curcumin to be about as effective as ibuprofen for reducing joint pain and stiffness in arthritis, but with a markedly better safety profile. For aging legs, that can translate into less swelling around the knees, reduced tension and overused tendons, and more comfort during everyday movement. It's particularly relevant for conditions like plantar fasciitis. When the thick band of tissue under the foot is inflamed, every heel strike can feel like a shock. Curcumin's ability to modulate pain and accelerate tissue recovery makes it one of the few natural compounds that not only eases symptoms but also helps address underlying inflammatory drivers. It doesn't mask the problem. It turns down the overactive signals that keep tissues irritated. Beyond joints and tendons, there's a broader protective story. As we age, muscles and nerves face persistent oxidative stress-free radicals chipping away at tissue integrity over time. Curcumin acts as an antioxidant shield, neutralizing those unstable molecules. That can help preserve muscle quality and support nerve health, an important piece in preventing numbness, tingling, or neuropathic leg pain issues that are especially common in diabetes or circulation problems. Of course, there's a practical challenge with curcumin. Raw turmeric extracts don't absorb well. Fortunately, modern formulations have largely solved this. Enhanced versions curcumin paired with piperine black pepper extract, phytosomal curcumin bound to phospholipids, or nanocurcumin significantly increase bioavailability. With these advances, the therapeutic potential that used to look good only on paper is now realistically accessible in daily life. How much and how long? For joint and inflammatory support, many standardized products suggest 500–1,000 mg of curcumin extract per day, with individual needs varying. Consistency is the real lever. Most people who will benefit tend to notice changes within 4–6 weeks, not an overnight fix, but a steady shift toward comfort and freedom of movement. Now, let's zoom out from individual compounds to what you do every day. Small, repeatable habits are the engine that keeps legs strong and cramps at bay. Top 5 daily habits to keep your legs strong as you age and prevent leg cramps. Are your legs feeling weaker with time? Do sudden cramps or stiffness stop you from moving freely? What if a few simple daily habits could keep your legs steady, strong, and comfortable no matter your age? In this video, we're revealing the top 5 daily habits that maintain powerful, healthy legs and help prevent frustrating leg cramps in seniors. Whether your goal is staying active, avoiding discomfort, or simply moving with confidence, these tips can transform your mobility. Stay with me. Stronger legs mean a more independent you. Before we dive in, tell me where you're watching from. I love seeing this community from the coast to the mountains to the heartland learn together. Drop your city in the comments and any questions on your mind. And don't forget to hit subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss practical, science-backed tips to keep you healthy and active. Habit number 1. Movement. Because your legs are your freedom. As we age, our legs determine our freedom. They carry us through daily life, from getting out of bed to climbing stairs, from stepping off a curb to standing in the kitchen to make dinner. Too many people watch their strength fade and assume it's inevitable. Here's the truth. Losing leg strength isn't a fate. It's a pattern and patterns can be changed. Muscles thrive on use. When we stop challenging them, they begin to shrink and weaken. That's sarcopenia, a process that can start in our 30s and accelerates after 60. Without regular stimulation, the muscles in your legs give up ground. Standing from a chair turns into a mini project. A quick walk around the block feels longer than it should. But strength isn't reserved for the young. Research shows older adults can rebuild and maintain solid leg power with consistent, targeted exercise. Whether you're starting again after years on the sidelines or you already have a routine but want better results, the right movements can improve your legs and your overall well-being. What does the right mix look like? Combine resistance training, balance work, flexibility exercises, and low-impact cardio. Strength training is the foundation because it tells your muscles, we still need you. Bodyweight moves like squats, lunges, and sit-to-stands are simple and effective. If those sound intimidating, scale them down. Stand up from a chair without using your hands, then sit and repeat. This one movement mimics daily life and builds crucial power in the quads, hamstrings, and glutes. As that gets easier, add a nudge of resistance. Loop a light band around your thighs and work controlled squats. Use ankle weights for gentle leg lifts. Hold onto a countertop for support while you practice slow, deliberate calf raises. You're teaching muscles to coordinate and fire cleanly, exactly what you need to prevent the wobbles that cause missteps. Balance is the next pillar. Many falls happen not because someone is clumsy, but because the small stabilizers, especially around the ankles and hips, have gone quiet. Simple drills wake them up. Stand on one foot while holding a chair back, then switch. Trace the alphabet in the air with your toes to challenge ankle control. Try a short tai-chi sequence. The gentle, flowing shifts improve stability and body awareness without pounding your joints. These movements don't just strengthen muscles, they tune the system that keeps you upright when the ground or your attention shifts. Flexibility and mobility matter too. Tight calves tug on the heel and arch. Stiff hips change stride mechanics and make stairs feel awkward. Gentle, regular stretches, calf stretches against a wall, hip flexor stretches on a mat, ankle circles, and kneaded chest movements restore the range your joints need to move freely. Think easy and often rather than deep and rare. A minute or two after a walk can be more valuable than a heroic stretch once a week. Layer in low-impact cardio to keep circulation humming and endurance growing without beating up your joints. Walking at a conversational pace, recumbent cycling, water aerobics, or elliptical sessions keep blood moving to muscles and nerves, delivering oxygen and whisking away metabolic byproducts. If cramps have been a problem, this steady circulation paired with your hydration plan can make evenings calmer and sleep more comfortable. How should you start if it's been a while? Keep it simple and specific. Pick a 10-15 minute block you can protect each day. Do 2 rounds of sit-to-stands, 1 minute of supported single leg balance per side, and a slow set of calf raises. Add a short walk out the door, down the block, and back. That's it for day 1. The next week, add a resistance band. The week after, tack on a few minutes of walking. Small steps build quickly when you stack them. Worried about overdoing it? Use the talk test and the next day check in. During cardio, you should be able to speak in full sentences. The day after a session, mild muscle awareness is fine, sharp pain is not. If a specific joint complains, scale the movement, shorten the range, or swap the exercise. What matters most is keeping the habit alive. Your body responds to consistency more than intensity. Cramp prone at night? Combine habit number 1 with what you've learned earlier. Hydration and electrolytes, especially on hot days or after activity, plus potassium-rich fruits and magnesium-containing foods. Many people find that a short evening walk followed by a glass of water or coconut water if they've been sweating, a gentle calf stretch, and a few ankle circles reduces nighttime zingers. And remember, progress often whispers. You might first notice fewer interruptions climbing stairs, or that getting up from the couch doesn't require a second try. The confidence that returns when your legs do what you ask, that's the real payoff. As we move forward, we'll keep building this practical routine, adding the next habits that complement movement so your legs feel supported from morning to night. On the next page, we'll deepen habit number 1 with simple balance drills, everyday flexibility work, and low-impact cardio patterns you can plug into your week. No fancy gear required, just steady, smart steps. We set movement as habit number 1 and mapped out simple strength and balance work. Now let's round it out with flexibility, low-impact cardio, and, just as importantly, the fuel and recovery that keep your legs getting stronger week after week. Strength training doesn't only build muscle, it also trains your brain and nervous system to react faster, helping prevent stumbles before they happen. But strength alone isn't enough. Flexibility is the hinge that lets your hard-earned muscle actually move smoothly. Daily stretching, especially for the hamstrings, calves, and hip flexors, helps maintain joint range, cuts down on stiffness, and reduces the risk of strain. Think of it as greasing the hinges. A few minutes in the morning, or right after exercise when tissues are warm, keeps your legs feeling limber and ready for whatever the day asks. What might that look like? After you rise, place both hands on a wall and gently stretch your calves, knee straight, heel down, then switch sides. Follow with a light hamstring stretch. One heel on a low step, hinge at the hips until you feel a comfortable pull behind the thigh. Finish with a simple hip flexor stretch. One foot forward, one back, hips tucked slightly as you shift weight forward. None of this needs to be intense. Ease and consistency beat heroics every time. Over days and weeks, those small sessions add up to smoother steps, easier stair climbs, and fewer tight signals from your legs. If high-impact workouts feel tough on your joints, take the pressure down without losing the benefits. Low-impact activities like walking, swimming, or cycling keep your legs engaged without pounding. Walking, in particular, is a quiet powerhouse. It keeps muscles active, encourages steady circulation, and helps maintain bone density, an essential guardrail against fractures. Picture it this way: every walk is a gentle vote of confidence for your legs, your heart, and your bones at the same time. Above all, consistency is the thread that ties habit number one together. Strength isn't built in a single day. It's the sum of small, repeatable choices. 10 minutes here, a short stroll there, a few stretches after lunch. These are the bricks that build durable legs. Daily habit number 2, nutrition. Your engine only runs on the right fuel. Exercise may be the engine that builds leg strength, but nutrition is the fuel that powers it. Without the right nutrients, muscles weaken, recovery slows, and your body struggles to maintain the strength you're working so hard to build. Food isn't just sustenance, it's the raw material of mobility, the scaffolding for resilient muscle, and a quiet defense against age-related decline. One of the most common mistakes in later decades is under-eating protein. As we age, the body becomes less efficient at using dietary protein to repair and rebuild tissue, which means we need more, not less, to maintain and regain muscle. Many older adults fall short without realizing it, unknowingly accelerating loss of strength. Think of protein as the cement that holds your strength structure together. Without enough of it, the foundation weakens, and the legs that once carried you effortlessly begin to struggle. So how much do you actually need? Research suggests older adults should aim for at least 1.0 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight each day. If you weigh 70 kilograms, about 150 for lb, that lands around 70-80 for grams daily. Just as important as the total is the pattern. Distribute protein evenly across meals instead of loading it all at dinner. A steady stream breakfast, lunch, and dinner gives your muscles multiple chances to repair and grow. Practically, that might mean Greek yogurt or eggs in the morning, beans or fish at lunch, and chicken, tofu, or lentils at dinner. Protein is essential, but it isn't the whole story. Calcium and vitamin D are your leg's best allies because strong muscles need strong bones to anchor to. Without enough calcium, bones can become fragile and more prone to fracture. Vitamin D is the key that helps your body absorb that calcium effectively. Without vitamin D, a calcium-rich diet won't deliver its full benefit. Good sources include dairy products, leafy greens, fortified foods, and sunlight. If getting enough through food and safe sun exposure is hard, a supplement may be necessary. Ask yourself, what good is muscle strength if your bones can't support it? Inflammation is the quiet saboteur of leg comfort and mobility. Chronic, low-grade inflammation, often stoked by ultra-processed foods, can sap strength and aggravate joints. The antidote is an anti-inflammatory pattern built from whole foods, healthy fats, and a rainbow of antioxidants. Swap processed items for lean proteins, omega-3 rich fish, nuts, seeds, and vibrant fruits and vegetables. Every bite you take is either fighting for or against your mobility. Choose the side that keeps you walking farther with less discomfort. Food is more than energy. It's medicine, it's protection, and most importantly, it's one of the most reliable keys to longevity. A well-nourished body moves with ease, recovers faster, and resists the slow decline that many assume is inevitable. If you've ever felt a mid-afternoon slump or noticed your legs tire too quickly, consider whether your plate is giving your muscles the building blocks they need and your bones the mineral support they deserve. Daily habit number 3. Rest where your strength is actually built. Most people think strength is built during exercise, but that's only half the story. True growth and repair happen when you rest, especially while you sleep. Sleep is the body's natural recovery system, the reset button that repairs worn muscle fibers, replenishes energy stores, and reinforces bone and joint health. Without it, all the effort you pour into training your legs is like trying to build a house on a crumbling foundation. No matter how well you eat or how smartly you train, inadequate sleep robs your body of the time and tools it needs to rebuild what you're working so hard to strengthen. During sleep, your body releases growth hormone, a powerful repair agent that stimulates muscle regeneration and supports bone formation. This becomes even more important with age, as muscle mass naturally declines and tissue repair slows. Miss out on deep, high-quality sleep, and the process gets disrupted. Recovery drags, soreness lingers, and it becomes harder to maintain leg strength. Over time, poor sleep contributes to weaker muscles, slower reflexes, and a higher risk of falls. Studies have shown that older adults who routinely sleep fewer than 6 hours per night tend to have weaker muscles and more mobility challenges than those who get sufficient rest. In other words, each lost hour of sleep is a missed opportunity for your legs to regain power. Think about evenings when you cut sleep short. The next day's steps often feel heavier, balance less sure, and workouts less productive. Here's why this matters alongside habit number 1. Strength training and physical activity put controlled stress on your muscles, creating tiny micro tears in the fibers, exactly the stimulus that triggers growth. But if you don't allow adequate recovery, those tissues remain fatigued and irritated. You feel sore longer and become more prone to injury. That's why alternating harder days with lighter ones, walks, gentle stretching, balance drills is essential. It gives your legs time to rebuild without slipping into inactivity. The rhythm of stress then rest is what turns effort into progress. What does a smart week look like? Imagine 2 or 3 strength emphasis days with bodyweight squats, sit to stands, lunges scaled as needed, and calf raises. In between, slip and mobility and balance work, plus low-impact cardio like walking or cycling to keep blood moving and recovery on track. Pair that with a pre-sleep routine: dim lights, a consistent bedtime, a cool, quiet room to protect the hours your body uses for repair. Even small improvements in sleep quality can translate into steadier steps, fewer nighttime cramps, and better energy on your walks. If sleep has been elusive, start with 1 or 2 anchors. Go to bed and wake up at the same time daily, including weekends. Limit long afternoon naps that cut into nighttime sleep. Drive. Keep screens out of the bedroom, and build a brief wind-down window: 5 or 10 minutes of stretching, light reading, or calm breathing. These habits signal your nervous system that it's safe to shift gears from go to restore. Pulling habits 1-3 together: movement provides the signal, nutrition supplies the materials, and rest does the building. Strength without flexibility becomes stiffness. Training without fuel leaves you drained. Effort without sleep stalls progress. When these habits line up even imperfectly, you create an environment where legs grow more capable, steadier on stairs, less heavy on evening walks, and more resilient when life throws uneven ground your way. If you're wondering where to begin, pick one lever to pull today. Add a short stretch sequence after your next walk. Place a protein source on your breakfast plate instead of saving it all for dinner. Protect 1 extra hour of sleep tonight. Small steps are not small. They're compound interest for your legs. As we turn the page, we'll keep the momentum going. Next up, we'll build on these foundations with the remaining daily habits: practical, repeatable steps that complement your movement, fuel, and recovery so your legs feel supported from morning to night. Ready to keep stacking wins? Let's move on and make the next habit effortless to adopt. We set movement, nutrition, and rest as your core trio. Now let's fine-tune rest so your legs actually cash in on all the work you're doing. Then shift into hydration, the quiet force that keeps muscles and joints performing smoothly. And finally, tee up habit #5. Daily habit number 3 continued. Make rest work for you. If stronger legs are your goal, optimized sleep is your secret advantage. Aim for 7-9 hours of uninterrupted sleep most nights. That window gives your body the time it needs to repair muscle fibers, replenish energy stores, and reinforce joint and bone health. Think of a good night's sleep as a scheduled service for your legs. Skip it, and small issues accumulate. Start with rhythm. Going to bed and waking at the same time every day, even on weekends, helps regulate your internal clock. When your sleep or wake cycle is steady, it's easier to fall asleep, stay asleep, and cycle through the deep, restorative stages where growth hormone does its work. If you could change just one thing this week, lock in your wake-up time first. Bedtimes often follow. Trim the speed bumps. Caffeine can linger in your system longer than you think, so press pause in the late afternoon. Blue light from phones and tablets keeps the brain alert, so dim screens, or better yet, park them at least an hour before bed. That one change improves sleep depth for many people, and deeper sleep is where your legs harvest the most. Recovery. Make the room a sleep ally. Cool, dark, and quiet cues your nervous system to settle. Blackout curtains, a fan or white noise machine, and a set bedtime routine can help you glide into sleep instead of wrestling with it. Small adjustments pay off. Even a 2-degree drop in room temperature or a soft, predictable wind down light reading, gentle stretches, slow breathing can nudge you into deeper stages. Dial in comfort for your legs. Sleep posture matters more than most people realize. If you're a side sleeper, place a pillow between your knees to keep hips and knees aligned and reduce torque on the lower back and IT band. If you sleep on your back, a small pillow or rolled towel under the knees can ease strain on the hamstrings and lower back, lowering that morning stiffness you might blame on age alone. Those tiny supports often mean fewer wake-ups, and fewer wake-ups mean better repair. One myth to retire: poor sleep isn't an unavoidable part of getting older. More often, it's a cluster of habits that need gentle correction. When sleep improves, the ripple effect is big: steadier balance, calmer inflammation, clearer thinking, a sturdier immune system, and yes, stronger, more reliable legs. If you've been training, eating protein, and stretching but still feel underpowered, audit your sleep. Often, that's where the leak is. Daily habit number 4, hydration, the quiet force behind strong legs. You move, you exercise, you eat well, and your legs still feel heavy. Cramps pop up at night. Fatigue arrives too soon. Hydration may be the missing piece. Water is the lifeblood of muscle function. Muscles are nearly 70% water, and even mild dehydration can reduce strength, slow recovery, and make legs feel weaker than they are. Why does this sneak up with age? The natural thirst signal dulls over time. By the time you feel thirsty, you're often already behind. That stiff, aching legs at sunrise feeling isn't always just aging. It's frequently dehydration after hours without fluid. When the body is short on water, circulation slows, oxygen delivery dips, and metabolic byproducts like lactic acid hang around longer, so movement feels harder than it should. Hydration keeps blood moving efficiently, delivering oxygen and nutrients. Your muscles need to contract and relax on cue. And it isn't only the muscles that benefit. Every step relies on synovial fluid, the natural lubricant bathing your knees, ankles, and hips. Low fluid intake thickens that lubricant, increasing friction and stiffness. Over time, that can make walking or exercise less comfortable, which ironically leads to less movement when the simple fix might be a better hydration rhythm. Cramps tell the story in an even louder voice. Dehydration disrupts electrolytes: sodium, potassium, magnesium, the minerals that keep muscle contractions coordinated. When levels skew low, fibers misfire and seize, producing those bolt upright at calf cramps or mid-walk spasms. Staying adequately hydrated helps regulate these minerals and smooths out contraction relaxation cycles, cutting down the frequency and intensity of those episodes. So how much do you need? The familiar 6-8 glasses guideline is a decent starting point, but your real need varies with activity, climate, and health conditions. The key is consistency: steady sips instead of long droughts and sudden gulps. Begin the day with a glass of water to replace overnight losses. Pair a glass with each meal. Keep a bottle visible as a nudge. If plain water doesn't appeal, rotate in herbal teas, dilute a splash of fruit, or lean on water-rich foods. Think watermelon, oranges, cucumbers, broths to contribute to your total. Worried about nighttime bathroom trips? Don't solve it by skimping on fluids. Shift timing instead. Front-load your intake earlier in the day and taper in the last hour before bed. That way, you stay consistently hydrated for muscle and joint function without setting yourself up for sleep interruptions. The point isn't drink more sometimes, it's stay well hydrated most of the day so your legs always have what they need to perform. Try a simple check-in. Is your mouth often dry? Do you feel a tension headache by afternoon? Are your calves twitchy at night? Those are practical signals that your hydration rhythm needs attention. A week of steadier fluid intake paired with electrolytes when you've been sweating often translates into lighter legs, fewer cramps, and better energy on walks. Daily habit number 5. Break the sitting spell. Human body is built to move, and your legs are the core machinery. Yet modern life nudges us into long sits, TV binges, desk time, reading stretches, phone scrolls that quietly decondition the very systems we want to preserve. Extended sitting reduces muscle activation, slows circulation, and erodes balance, coordination, and confidence. Left unchecked, those small daily choices produce big picture losses, weaker legs, stiffer joints, and more hesitation when you stand or step. You've probably felt it. After an hour in a chair, your first few steps are stiff and tentative. That's not just age talking, it's your muscles and connective tissues announcing they were idle too long. The fix isn't to swear off sitting, it's to break up the spell before the body starts to downshift its readiness to move. Ask yourself, how many long, uninterrupted sits does your day contain? Could you insert micro breaks that reset circulation and wake up stabilizers before stiffness sets in? Even small, predictable interruptions counter the slide from comfortable seat to cement legs. Here's the bigger picture, tying habits 3-5 together. Rest rebuilds what training breaks down. Good sleep is the multiplier on all your daytime effort. Hydration keeps the engine cool and the gears lubricated. Blood moves, joints glide, signals fire cleanly. Breaking up long sits prevents deconditioning from stealing what you've earned. Your legs stay switched on and ready. Put differently, you're protecting your investment. You train, you eat for strength, you prioritize sleep. Now you reduce the daily friction that quietly steals those gains. If you want a quick self-audit for this week, try 3 anchors. 1. Lock in a consistent wake time and a short, screen-free wind down to guard your 7-9 hours. 2. Place a filled water bottle where you can't ignore it and finish it by lunchtime. Refill for the afternoon. 3. Notice your longest sitting block today and plan to interruptions for tomorrow, just enough to stand, move, and reset. None of these demands perfection. They reward repetition. You'll feel it where it matters. Rising without a wobble, walking with easier rhythm, finishing the day with legs that feel used but not used up. On the next page, we'll turn habit number 5 into a simple, repeatable plan, exactly how to break up sitting without derailing your day, smart movement snacks that wake up muscles and circulation, and a few alignment tweaks that help your legs feel lighter the moment you stand. Ready to make stillness less sticky? Let's keep going. We just tuned your sleep, hydration, and break the sit rhythm. Now let's stitch everything together so the final habit becomes second nature, and then wrap with a clear plan you can start today. When sitting stretches from minutes into hours, the change creeps in quietly. You don't notice it at first. Then one day the stairs feel steeper, standing from a chair takes a second try, or a pleasant walk turns into a chore. That's the danger zone. Long, uninterrupted sitting tells your leg muscles to power down. Quadriceps, hamstrings, and calves sit idle, circulation slows, and the nervous system forgets to keep stabilizers online. Use it or lose it isn't a slogan, it's physiology. Studies show that inactivity accelerates muscle loss, and in older adults it's a fast track toward frailty. Add sluggish blood flow, and you get the whole package: swelling around the ankles, a heavy or fatigued feeling when you finally stand, and a higher risk of clots, exactly what we're trying to avoid as we protect mobility and independence. The fix isn't to trade your chair for sprints. It's far simpler. Break the spell of stillness. Frequent, gentle interruptions reactivate muscle fibers, restore circulation, and remind your balance system to stay online. Think little and often. Every 30-60 minutes, stand up for a minute or two and move. That's it. Those tiny wake-ups keep your legs switched on all day. What counts as a movement break? Plenty. March in place while a page loads. Do 10-15 heel raises behind the chair, up on your toes, down with control. Walk a room length lap and back. Shift your weight from one leg to the other for 60 seconds, feeling your hips and ankles. Wake up. When you're on the phone, stand. During TV, get up for each commercial or episode break. Stairs nearby? One flight up and down resets circulation better than you'd think. Even micro choices matter: standing to pour water, placing your remote or book across the room so you have to get up, or setting your printer in the next room so every printout becomes a step count booster. If mobility is limited, break stillness right where you are. Chair exercises deliver real benefits without leaving your seat. Seated leg lifts or knee extensions: straighten the knee, hold, lower to wake the quads. Ankle circles and foot pumps to spur venous return and ease calf tightness. Gentle toe raises, toes up, heels down to recruit the shin muscles that balance your stride. Light resistance band presses or abductions around the thighs to activate hips and protect the knees. A few slow repetitions each hour. Keep tissues supple and remind your nervous system that movement is the default, not the exception. Here's the part many people miss. Even if you exercise 30 minutes a day, long blocks of sitting can still chip away at strength and function. A dedicated workout is fantastic, but it doesn't erase 10 hours in a chair. Think of your formal exercise as the anchor and your movement snacks as the maintenance plan that protects your investment. The bottom line isn't sitting is bad so much as staying still too long drains what you've earned. Every time you stand, stretch, or take a handful of steps, you're making a small deposit into the bank account of your leg's future. Put it to work with simple cues. Set a gentle timer or use a watch reminder for hourly stand and move prompts. Pair movement with daily anchors. You already do. Every phone call, stand. Every email batch, lap the room. Every cup of tea or coffee, add 30 seconds of calf raises. Keep a full water bottle within sight as you sip hello. Habit 4. You'll naturally stand more for refills and bathroom breaks. Small loops add up. Kitchen to hallway and back. Porch to mailbox and back. Bedroom to living room and back. It's not dramatic. It's dependable, and dependable is how legs stay strong. Now zoom out and look at the whole picture you've built across this series. Your legs respond to patterns. You move them. Habit 1, with strength, balance, flexibility, and low-impact cardio. You feed them. Habit 2, with enough protein spread through the day, plus bone-smart calcium and vitamin D, and anti-inflammatory whole foods. You rebuild them. Habit 3, by protecting 7-9 hours of real sleep so repair chemistry can do its job. You hydrate them. Habit 4, keeping muscles contracting smoothly and joints lubricated. You refuse to let stillness calcify your progress. Habit 5, breaking long sits with small, repeatable wake-ups. Seen together, this is not a crash plan or a willpower contest. It's a blueprint for legs that carry you steadily, comfortably, confidently through the next chapter of your life. Let's close with a straightforward, American simple action plan you can start today. 1. Choose your 60-minute anchor. Pick the hour you most often lose to sitting, maybe late morning or early afternoon. Set a single repeating reminder for that block on weekdays. When it buzzes, stand. If you can, walk a short loop. If you can't, do the seated sequence. 10 knee extensions, 10 ankle circles each direction, 10 heel raises. Done in 90 seconds. Forget perfect. Do it anyway. 2. Establish your movement pairs. Attach a tiny move to a daily habit you already keep. Phone rings, stand. Kettle on, 15 heel raises. Email sent. Lap the hallway. TV episode ends, 1 set of sit to stands. These pairs remove decision fatigue. Your body learns the choreography and just moves. 3. Protect 1 early protein win. Tomorrow morning, put protein on the plate. Greek yogurt, eggs, tofu, or cottage cheese. You'll feel steadier by midday, and your legs will get the early repair signal that used to arrive only at dinner. 4. Front-load your fluids. Drink a glass on waking, another with breakfast, another mid-morning. Keep the bottle visible. Taper in the last hour before bed so sleep stays uninterrupted. 5. Guard your sleep window. Pick a consistent wake-up time and defend it, even on weekends. Start a 10-minute wind down tonight. Dim the lights, stretch, breathe. You'll be stunned how much better your legs feel in just a week of better sleep. 6. Keep the story going. You're not trying to be young again. You're building a body that says yes, yes to stairs, yes to sidewalks, yes to that trip, yes to a walk with a friend who moves a little faster than you did last month. Strength is not a number. It's a feeling of being capable in your own life. If you need a litmus test, use this. At the end of the week, pick one ordinary thing that used to feel slightly out of reach: standing from a low couch without using your hands, carrying a grocery bag up the front steps, finishing your usual walk with a little energy to spare. Do it. Feel the difference. That's your proof. And it's only the start. Before we wrap, a few quick reminders from earlier pages that tie directly into habit number 5 without adding complexity. A short evening walk plus a glass of water or coconut water if you've been sweating can calm night cramps. A minute of gentle calf stretching after you sit a while can ease the cement legs feeling when you stand. And if your knees or ankles grumble, The slow and steady glide you've built with collagen support and your anti-inflammatory pattern will make those micro breaks feel better every week. You've given your legs the conditions to thrive, now you're giving them chances to show it. So ask yourself one last time, when was your last movement break? If it's been a while, stand up with me now. Roll through the feet, lift your heels, take 3 easy laps of the room. Feel your calves wake up, your knees loosen, your stride smooth out. That tiny burst of circulation is a preview of what consistent, small decisions will buy you. A body that answers when you ask, legs that partner with you instead of holding you back. Final word and your next step: be weaving these 5 daily habits into your routine, staying active, fueling wisely, prioritizing quality rest, hydrating well, and breaking up long sits. You're not just preserving mobility. You're investing in future you. Every step you take and every mindful choice you make adds up to a stronger, more vibrant life. Age doesn't have to mean slowing down, it can mean moving smarter. With consistency, your legs can feel powerful for years to come. If this video helped you, do the 2 things that keep this community growing. Tap like and subscribe to Senior Health Boost. It takes a second, and it genuinely helps us bring more clear, science-backed guidance to people who need it. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from and which habit you're starting today. We read every single one, and your wins inspire the next videos. Stay steady, stay curious, and keep moving. From all of us at Senior Health Boost, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.